while what we eat is important, how we eat is just as important. So I'm going to go over some guidelines for how to eat. And it might seem kind of silly to do that, but truly, when you begin to adopt these practices, you're going to notice a huge difference in how you feel, how you digest your food, and lots of other things because it has a ripple effect. So, Ayurveda says you eat enough to fill your stomach one third of the way, and leave a third of the room for liquid and a third of the room in the stomach for air. So we are looking to eat enough food to satiate ourselves, but not more. One of the practices is to eat an anjali of food, which is what you can fit in two cupped hands. And everyone's hands are different sizes, and it is associated with the size of your body. So quantity of food is an enormous consideration. We're going to get into some of the ways that we can derail our health through eating too much. We'll get into that more later. So when we eat frequently, we can derail our health as well. So another guideline for eating is eat 3 meals a day or less. As we get into our dosha typology and our imbalances, that'll become more and more evident and clear as to how to adapt our patterns around eating and the frequency of eating. I think I've mentioned that snacking can derail our health in a huge way. And again, we can continue to have that conversation. So when we eat before our food is thoroughly digested, we create what is called ama, or undigested foodstuffs that turns into toxicity in the body. So we want to make sure that we feel truly hungry before we eat anything else. So our next meal needs to be digested before we put any more food into it. So if we get into the habit of eating in a specific at a specific time and in a specific place, it becomes more ritualized. And when we honor our food and the way our food comes to us, and think about all the hands that have to take care of this food to get to our table, it makes for gratuitous way of eating. And then never eat when you're upset. What happens when we are triggered, when we are upset, when our emotional body is out of whack? Our digestion has a tendency to slow down or even stop or turn off. So we want to be in the right frame of mind whenever we are eating our food. Never eat when you're angry. Just allow it to be there until it passes and then have your food so that you can digest it better. And again, to make it more ritualized, to make it more of a special thing, nourishing yourself, you want a pleasant environment. You want to make sure that you wash your hands before you eat. And a great habit to get into is feeding somebody else before you eat yourself. That could be a pet, it could be a spouse, it could be children, it could be a house plant, it could be sending out gorgeous vibes to the universe before you feed yourself. So you're feeding something else. And then the pace in which that you eat matters. If you eat too slowly, you won't have uh, the proper digestion. And if you eat too quickly, you might overeat and you might not chew your food thoroughly enough. Digestion starts in the mouth. So you take your bite of food and you chew it and leave it in your mouth until it's completely liquefied. Ayurveda talks about chewing each bite of food 33 times. Give that a whirl and see how that changes your pace, your mindfulness, and how you digest your food. It's going to be amazing if you're in the habit, like, I grew up with 6 siblings and we wolfed our food down so we could get enough. It was like this competition. But if you slow down and mindfully chew your food, the food bolus gets to be coated in the saliva, which has a digestive enzyme in it, and it allows the digestion as it carries through the body, as it reaches the small intestine, to be a little more easeful for the body and less stressful for the body. You've already broken down your food better if you chew it thoroughly. And then finally, eat without distraction. So, if your habit is to eat in front of a screen, don't stop. Be with your food, honor your food, have some gratitude before you eat it, and then spend time with your food and really, really be present with it. If you're eating with somebody else, it's typical to have some conversation, but try to minimize that as well. So give that a whirl. Let me know how this is working for you. Like truly allow that to be a thing. And we will continue on soon.